MSFS2024 taking off runway 23 departure to the west.
All right, guys, how's it going? Good evening. We'll start this off with a sound check. 1, 2, make sure I can hear myself just fine. All right, sounds good, guys. Sounds working. So that's good. Let's see how our frames are. I don't see anything dropping. It's another positive sign. We'll run the frames per second, just kind of see where we're at. We're around about 90. I'll take it, 80 to 90. Nope, I'm happy with that. All right, we're gonna shut that off. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take off. We are in a small airport just south of South Florida, and we're headed up to Lakeland, home of, I believe, Sun and Fun. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're gonna go to South Lakeland. We're gonna skip the actual Lakeland airport and then end up in Zephyr Hills. We'll see if we get that far. With a couple stops, one exciting one. I've got Hidden River on the way. Which is about I don't know if it's hidden or not. Hopefully we'll find it. It's 2,500 foot asphalt, it says. So maybe it won't be too bad with an asphalt runway. There was another one I wanted to try to find, Schwartz Farms. It's on the sectional, but not on Flight Sim. So I don't know if it's just listed under a different designation. This is FL4, FL8 on here. So we're going to see if we got it under something else. When we get a little bit closer, we'll be able to see it, I think. So, all right, parking brakes released. We're taking off runway 23. It's late evening, calm winds, and here we go, guys. And we're flying. That was a smooth takeoff. One of my smoother, for sure. Already cooking. Let's go ahead and get our turn in here. Another neat feature I learned about recently is, there we go, instant replay. All we gotta do is open it, and it's working. And now if we, for any reason, want to go back and look at something that just happened, we can just run through instant replay, pop it down, and it will just rewind. I think it's like the last 5 minutes, so should be pretty useful. I've been always trying to remember to start recording as I get going. So no plane sounds. Hold on. Let's see if I shut that off or turn it down. Aircraft engines I turned down. Let's see if that's better. Definitely loud out here. Not loud in the cockpit though. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize I was running my engine that hard until I heard the plane sounds. It's a tower out here, about 1,300 feet. Should be above it. I know, for about 5,000 RPM, a trim of minus 20 or so seems to usually work pretty good. Yeah, we're climbing already again. Put her in the nose down and see if she stabilizes. Alright, I set some new views. So hopefully, there we go, there's one. There's another. Some fun ones for landing. Of course, pilot's gone. It's the only way I could figure out how to set these views was to be the pilot outside the airplane. There's a little glitch you can exploit to get these views, but then it takes you're the pilot, so they don't put a pilot in the pilot seat. So it's kind of the only drawback here. Yeah, of course, there's all kinds of drone views and showcase views and stuff, but I wanted some more realistic views. Like this might be like a GoPro or a Insta360 attached to the airplane. Same as this one. This one might be like one attached to the tail with like it zoomed out, you know, like a wide angle view. And this one would be on like a boom off the front wing, and you could always like pan all the way around. Or even like zoom out a little. I don't know. Those are my new views. Pretty excited about it. We'll try them out on some landings up here. We are headed to the asphalt one. 22FA is the name of it. So, off course just a touch. We're still climbing. Man, it's eerie with no sound in the cockpit. Because we got here, then it's loud. Let's check something real quick. Let's turn that down. It's always loud outside. Let's see what, let me do 150%. No. It just says turn up the main volume if you don't like it, I guess. I turned it up in my headset a little bit so we could hear it. Alright, we're going to pitch down just for a while here. Just gained a little more altitude than I like. Look at the visibility out of this plane. If there's something you can't see, that's your own fault. You're not looking. That there, I believe, is... I think the lake's called Punta Gorda. And this is the north part of it. And if we look out here, yep, that's a big lake. And those engine noises are still crazy loud. Let's turn them down just a bit more. We're going to go to 20. Well, I guess what we could do, we still get cockpit sounds if we go from these views. Yeah, anyway, that's a lake called Punta Gorda. It's, we're south of Tampa a ways yet. We're maybe parallel with the Venice area. Yeah, look at these. How would you like to have one of these houses where you could just live next to like a waterway with like your boat docked right up to your house? I suppose that'll connect you back to this lake one way or another. Right through there. Yep. Man, that's living the dream. I mean, I don't know. I'd barely choose an air park over that. That's pretty cool yet. Anyway, for those of you that don't know, I'm Justin. I'm a pilot in real life. I'm flying flight sim in my free time. I fly corporate and Part 135 charter, but my passion is really flying small single engine piston airplanes. And so I have a few of those as well. But in my free time, when I get a chance, I don't mind playing flight sim. And we're starting South Florida and working our way across the country. Who knows where we'll end up? My goal is Seattle area. So starting from the south east side of the country, moving our way up to the northwest, and we're going to see whatever we can possibly see everywhere in between. So anyway, that's a heliport over there. That's what I was saying. So um, yeah, we're just going to see everything we can see and find some unique backcountry strips. I'm not using too much outside sources yet. I might implement some later for finding some of these unique places. Mostly I'm just, realize that I can go about 90 miles, not nautical miles in an hour. And so I'm picking spots between, that are about 90 miles apart, and then a few small private and restricted strips in between. I'm just grabbing them right off the sectional. So nice thing about Simulator World is I don't have to call and ask permission or have an excuse or reason to go there. So we'll just go and land and check it out and move on. So if you saw some of my earlier streams, some of them are hard to find, and they're not in the exact right place. And I don't know if that's a Microsoft Flight Simulator problem or a just how the sectional map and the map on Microsoft Flight Simulator line up, or if it's they're just in a general area. But yeah, the couple I found last stream were, a few miles off of each other from where the pin was. So when you right click the left stick, you'll see these blue bars, and that's where I should be. Of course, I'm not flying that specifically, and up there is the pin of this first airport. So we're going to see if it's there. Hopefully it is. But if it's not, oh well, we'll fly around until we find it. And if we don't find it, we'll move on. That's it. So, and I've flown across this part of Florida a little bit. And one thing I'm always thinking about is if I had an engine failure, now that just showed up. There are trees everywhere. And it would be difficult sometimes to find a good place to land this airplane. Now, that said, Florida has a lot of water. So, if you have an engine failure, it's probably the insurance's airplane anyway. So there's all kinds of places here to put her down where you would live. Hopefully somebody finds you within a reasonable amount of time. We're a long ways from, seems like anywhere out here, but I've looked into a spot device. It's like a satellite tracking device that you can text from and send like a 911 signal. I've thought about, and I don't have one for my travels in real life, but I've definitely considered putting one in my flight bag. And someday I might regret not having one in there, but it's definitely a real consideration. All right, it says 9 miles to the next spot, so we're almost there. Bring the trim up just a little bit. We've been descending for a while now. I'm gonna try this view. Sorry, excuse me. I'm gonna try this view for landing. It's just got me sitting a little bit further back with a little bit more peripheral vision. And I think I'm gonna like it a little bit more. So about 5 more miles till we're at our first airport here. And it was called Hidden River. So we'll see if we can't sneak in here and find it somewhere. I don't know if it's hidden in a river, if it's at a hidden river, if somebody just decided to call it Hidden River, but when we get there, we'll find out for sure. Thinking about setting this as a custom view. Yeah, I think it will. Let's test this out. There we go. Yep. All right, set as a custom view so we can hang out here. Kind of see some of the scenery as we fly around. Well, the winds are definitely calm because they usually put in decent waves if it's windy. Look at this. You see that little moss? Like it's almost like it's real. The shadows, they're not quite as good as they were, but yeah, look at them come across like on the lake surface there. That's pretty crazy. You know, from this view, it almost doesn't even look fake. You know, if we took all this out, it'd be... I just saved a screenshot. I don't think you guys can see that, but oh hey, here's our hidden river, I believe. So not hidden, also not in a river, but a cool air park nonetheless with some nice little hangar homes in there. We got runway 27 and 9er. Why don't I hop in here and let's go land on runway 9. I'll bring the power back. Slowing down nicely. We'll start our downwind turn. Alright. There it is. Alright. Plenty wide. We're going to go ahead and start our base turn. Add a little power back in here. Power is altitude, airspeed is pitch. So if we need to go down, take some power out. Dang it, not be in this view here. Alright, let's go ahead and turn a nice final here. Oh, dog-legged final. I wonder if the trees are this dense over the real runway. It does look like they've got a little cutout here for the runway. Alright, final flaps. Power's back. Coming in for final here. And we're getting a reflection off the propeller. That is not annoying at all. And we're still flying. There we go. Alright. Not bad. Somewhat decent center line, at least now. I wouldn't call it my smoothest landing, but I'm not mad about it. So now let's get a short field takeoff in. And we'll hold the brake. Add the power. Let go of the brake. And here we go. If we can get the tail up, we can probably fly. And we're flying. Alright, nice climb. We've got altitude. Flaps are retracted. And we're moving on, guys. That was a nice little airport. One thing we are going to do, we're going to turn out here. Go ahead and get back on course. About 5,100 RPM. And we're just about stable here now. Perfect. All right, now that we're climbed out, we're going to go ahead and save. That replay. I think it's saved. Let's go back. Oh, configurations. Back. No, not that. Load. Replay. What's today? 5/14. And these are back to back. So yeah, it did save. Nice. Alright, instant replay. It's back on. And for whatever reason, when I kicked replay off, it messed my trim up. So, and my throttle position, I think. Oh, we were going to look for that other airport, weren't we? Let's look. It was from that last one. Let me pull it up. It was pretty close to it. Yeah, just a couple miles off of it, called Schwartz Farms, 4FL8. So let's go out here. Hidden River. What's that say? Something Creek. In Sarasota. I don't see it out here at all. That says Gator Creek, and that's behind it a little bit, so I don't think that is it. We're just gonna keep on trucking on here. It isn't a bad idea to kind of hang out in a view like this and look around, because there are unregistered strips all over the country, and some of them I would think would show up on Flight Sim pretty decently. In fact, let's see, I bet that could almost be one over there. Let's go ahead and go over there and see. Maybe not. It could just be a divider in the field, but it's worth a look. Yeah, that's just the texture in the field there. Like I said, I still wish there was a way, and hopefully it's not too loud for you guys, but it is overbearing for me. The engine noise when I'm on the outside the cockpit view. All right, this is 30 miles to X49. I wish I had estimated time en route. I think I tried to mess with this last time, and it was not having it. Let's see. Menu. Map. Menu. See, all these are grayed out, so I can't use them. Let's see. Setup. 50. How about data bar? Hey, that's probably it. Nav. I know you guys aren't watching, but oh, see. Oh yeah, because I don't need that, but a distance next waypoint we have, but a ETE next would be useful information. There we go. We've got 16 minutes to the next destination, guys. So what can we look at between here and there? Swamp. Seriously, if you guys comment, I know nobody's watching. Maybe somebody's watching, but yeah, if you guys comment on stuff, we'll talk about it. I can go over almost every facet of this plane. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot. I would, yeah. Yes, and I'm not running autopilot for any of this. I do all of this by hand. I want to go from, yeah, all the way from Florida to the Northwest by hand, just like a real backcountry airplane. Yes, I realize the Kitfox has autopilot. This one does, but that's I love the way this plane handles and flies, and it's not fast. But I don't need the autopilot. I think it's more fun to fly, just like it was an airplane I would have in real life, which realistically, an airplane of this size, I probably wouldn't have autopilot in. So the sun's starting to set over there. It is in the game. I don't know what time I have it set for. Glitch. It is 7:24 local time, Florida. Heading right for that power line. Or power line. Not really a power line, it's a antenna. Let's get a little closer. Let's see how the quality of that as we get closer. It'd be kind of interesting. Let's see. 13 minutes or so, 20 miles. We're getting close. If anybody knows how to turn down the outside view engine noise, that would be awesome. I'm going to take one more look at it. Well, I just don't see a way. Hopefully that's not overbearing for you guys. If it's not, I'll just turn it down on my headset. And no big deal. We can go from there. But anyway, for now, I'll probably get myself out of this view just so that way it's not blaring through you guys' speakers here. So here we go. And you know, that all said and done, I like this view fairly well as well. We can achieve nearly the same effect. Just airplane doesn't fly. It's not as easy to fly from this position because I feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't follow like it does in the using the external camera. But anyway, golly, that was a lot of control input. One thing I will say about using Xbox controller, super sensitive. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Look at that. That's just a tall microwave tower out there, and you can see like the little guide wires coming off of it and everything. Like a dry riverbed or an interstate that they didn't finish or something. That's kind of odd. You know, Florida doesn't have like north, south, east, west roads. They have a few, but for the most part, it's just random. roads going every which direction. So when I was flying out here and I had some students, we would talk about like, hey, how do you guys know east and west and north and south? And well, of course, you've got the sun uh, sets in the west, rises in the east. But let's say it's noontime and you've been out doing turns and looking at stuff, and then now you're kind of confused about what direction it is. And yes, you have a compass, but we're sight flying, and we were flying a J3 Cub at the time. And I was like, how would you guys know? Well, the neat thing in Florida, and it's hard to tell from the game, but if you climb up high enough, and it doesn't have to be that high, depending on where you're at in Florida, if you climb up high enough, you can see the coast. So at 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, you should be able to see a coast, depending on. Now, if you're smack dab in the middle, it might be a little harder, but if you're like closer to one coast or the other, well, you'll know. Like, I was flying on the Gulf side, I should see the Gulf Coast. And then once you see the Gulf Coast, it's pretty easy to orient yourself north, south, east, and west, because you know that the Gulf Coast is always going to be on the west side. So, just a little tidbit of my flying here back in the day. I don't feel like those hills through there are real. That's pretty insane. Don't know what that's supposed to be. Anyway, some dunes of some kind. Excuse me. Let's see, 8 minutes. Yeah, a lot of weird texture things in this session. I don't know if it's normal or if it's Florida, or maybe I'm just not getting good rendered ground texture. See, that looks amazing to me. Like that little hill there, that definitely looks like it could have been like a little landfill or something. In fact, I wouldn't be entirely surprised to find out that that's the highest point in Florida. Mild running joke, because Florida is nearly all within 50 foot of sea level. So, see if I can figure out a way to fix this. I think this is a glitch. But yeah, my fuel pressure is low, and it gives me this little red caution, and it gives this little caution here. I have definitely run both fuel pumps, and neither do anything. Like, I can absolutely just shut them off. Oh, I just shut everything off. Let's see. Okay. Let's see what that does. Avionics master and regular master. Okay, well those definitely aren't it. That turns on whether or not I want a one wheel out there. Now I have a one wheel on the wing. That's cool. And that puts the engine cover on, which we're not going to do while we're out here flying. Let's see. Horn. Oh, that's fun. We got a little air horn up here. Lights. Yeah, I honestly don't see anything that could change that fuel pressure. I only thought it would be. Menu, just like we did before. Setup. Is there one for like engine monitoring? Yeah. I don't know if anybody ever watches this and sees something, comment, because I'd love to know. Maybe it's a glitch, just needs updated. I mean, this is a Microsoft 2020 airplane, and it just got grandfathered into 2024. Honestly, I have no idea if you were just starting 2024 and you never had 2020, how you'd get this airplane. That said, I think you could get it from the Microsoft Store. I didn't see it in there the other day, but I might have just missed it. But yeah, I had it on 2020, and so when I downloaded 2024, it just showed up and it works. So it's one of my favorite airplanes. So I'm gonna keep flying it. So I think this is parallel 42, and if they ever feel like updating it for 2024, and they may or may not, probably not, but maybe, they need a smoke switch. I think laying out a trail of smoke when you do a flyby in this thing would be just the coolest. And I think 2024 is a good candidate for something like that. All right, guys, we just got a couple minutes left here. 2.5 minutes, 2 3/4 minutes, and we will be where we want to be. It's called South Lakeland. And let's see, let's pull up the map so you guys can see. Here we are. This is the main Lakeland airport where I believe Sun and Fun is held. And glitch. Load. South Lakeland, Lakeland, here we go. And Midway Lake Airport. Let's see what this is. There's like a nice like little strip over there. Alright, we're gonna make that. We're gonna zip over there after our landing here at Lakeland. Just for gigs. Uh-oh. Volanta's about to crash. Oh, my whole computer might crash. Alright. So far the important things are working. Alright, Volanta's working again. So that was scary. I would have been really disappointed if everything crashed. Alright. Where are we going? We're going Midway Lake after Lakeland. It's just across the highway right there. We'll try to remember that. And then Zephyr Hills Municipal is where we're going to end the stream. And I don't see any intentional grass runways, but we will. Well, I guess it labels them right here, but those are not grass, so that's alright. We can land on the pavement. That's no big deal. So, ultralight port. Anyway, That's where we're going. Oh, here's South Lakeland Airport coming up. I thought that was it for a second, but it might be. That looks like an airport, don't it? Looks like one to me. Yeah, that's definitely it. Alright, we'll zip in here for a quick landing. Start pulling the power back. Coming up. Turn our downwind. So 3,500. A slight descent gives me about 65, which I like. We're doing about 312, so our landing runway is probably 12, maybe 13, 3113. Yeah, okay. All right, there's the end of the runway. Let's go ahead and give it a notch of flaps. Start a nice easy descent in here. About 500-600 feet a minute. It's pretty nice. Start a nice easy left base. Trying to hold that 65. I definitely don't want to go much faster. I'm actually going to pull a little power out. Oh, yeah. Make a nice final here. Start pointing the nose down, pulling some power out, and we'll give her all the flaps. And we're coming in at about 58, which is plenty fast. Let's go ahead and raise the nose, bleed off some more airspeed. And oh, populated that airplane right there. All right, look at this. Look at the shadow. See it off the left? Ugh, that was a bouncy landing. Glitched on me, just stuttered just for a second there, which I think is the problem. That couldn't be me, for sure. All right, guys. Here we are. This is South Lakeland Airport. Little air park with some houses, a nice little road. Do a nice short takeoff here. Power's in. We're rolling. Woo! Looking a little hairy. Go ahead and take off. And above our obstacle, here comes our flaps. And we'll climb out at 65-ish. Climbing out at 65, we're doing 2,000 feet a minute. That might not be real. I mean, it could be. That's a lot. All right, let's go ahead and pitch the nose over and continue. So this has us going up to Zephyr Hills, but there was another one straight north, basically, that I wanted to check out. So we're gonna point this thing to the north, pull some power out because we're going too fast. We'll go ahead and save that recording for later. If you guys want to see those landings from like a different view and little replays of them, I'm debating on doing them at the end of the streams if there's people watching, but considering that no one is watching, I will make shorts of them. So if you're watching this and you want to see those, go check out my channel. Go look at the shorts. I'm making them, trying to make at least one or two a day. And they are up there. And subscribe because I'm putting them up there all the time. So if you want to check them out. And also, if you didn't already know, because I say it all the time, I'm doing this with an Xbox controller. So I don't know if you can see it. I have filters on the camera. But anyway, it's just a basic Xbox controller. A is more throttle, B is less throttle. Left and right triggers are rudders. And the left stick is the stick on the airplane, and the right stick is my head, the pilot's head. I also have a mouse and keyboard to do a few other things, but those are the basics. So I have probably 100, 150 hours flight sim, all backcountry type airplanes. Not all, mostly backcountry type airplanes, and almost all, or 99.8% of it, is with a Xbox controller. I honestly prefer being able to sit back and relax versus, uh, you know, having my hands on peripherals all the time. So Xbox controller works great for this. It definitely takes some getting used to like, but once you get there, it's so easy to fly this way. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about that. It's just Xbox controller is where it's at. If you're not flying with an Xbox controller, like if you're not into flight sim because you don't have $400 or $500, $1,000, I don't know, more to buy the peripherals you want, like and you have an Xbox controller, just play with the Xbox controller. It's worth it. Definitely, definitely worth it. Considering I have the peripherals and I have a yoke, I have a stick, I have throttles, I have rudders, and I still sit back with an Xbox controller because I don't have to hook it all up. I can just Bluetooth my controller to my computer and we're flying. I fly on one monitor. I don't have any head tracking. I own head tracking. I don't normally use head tracking. I prefer just flying this way, and it's good. You know, uh, it's a little less immersive, but it's definitely good enough to go fly and do what I'm doing, where you're just going to go back and check out some backcountry airports. And especially if you're an airliner guy, like, I don't know, I'm not an airliner guy, so I might just be talking and saying nothing here, but I would think like those guys are just pushing autopilot buttons and then landing and taking off. So if you're an airliner, if you want to sim in an airline, like an Xbox controller is definitely good enough for you. Doing this backcountry type flying, I also think an Xbox controller is everything you'll need. So anyway, oh crap. Okay, here's the highway, I believe. Let's pull Volanta up in here. We will see where we are at. Oh, okay. Here's the highway. It's mad because we landed somewhere else. Okay, here's the highway. Here's this. I have no idea. This is glitching again. There we go. I don't know how behind it is. Okay, but if it is, we are pretty close. So, let's click here. There's a heliport. Midway Lake Airport. Okay, that's what we were looking for. Let's go land there. So we're gonna go ahead and get some power out. We're kind of on the downwind now. I remember it was a north-south runway, so we're just gonna get some power out, so we can get some flaps in here. Stop descending so fast. Pull some trim out. Alright, there's 65. Oh shoot. We need to turn. Turn and point it down. There she is. Alright, flaps are full. Power's out. Alright, we're gonna get too slow here. Let's get some power back in. Perfect. I'm kind of coming over the fence at like 50, 55. Alright. Ooh, I don't think I could have got a much smoother landing than that. This would be a fun little place to land. Got a little seaplane, you can do both. Land your seaplane on the water or land your regular plane here on this little grass strip. Alright, good find. This was fun. I'm gonna try to mark this one for another day. Let's see, is this on full flight? Alright, there's that. Lakeland. It is. Oh, Midway Lake. I'm going to add that for a place to land another day. Alright guys, we're not very far from Zephyr Hills. That's where we're gonna zip up to and do a nice little landing and call it a night. Oop. Alright. Brakes retracted. Flaps are set. Pointed the right direction. Power's in. And we're rolling. Alright, decently smooth takeoff for a super smooth landing. Let's go ahead and save that so we can go back and get the highlights. And south is the wrong direction, so let's go ahead and make a nice little turn out here back north towards Zephyr Hills. Park, get a little gas, call it a night. We'll do the next leg another day. We're making some decent progress through here today. We'll be up kind of northeast of Tampa a little bit. Maybe eat more east than north, probably. So it's about halfway up through Florida. And this is like, I don't know, 5 or 6. I don't know what I labeled it. I'm not even sure that that's right. I need to go back and check, but anyway. All right, let's pull the power back. Get some trim in here. And let's see. What's this say? 6 minutes, 10 miles, 11 miles. Fine. 11 miles, and we'll be in Zephyr Hills. Sun will be setting, and we'll be able to call it a night. Alright, sun's starting to set, so let's make sure we have our lights on, our strobes are already on, our navs are on. Turn panel lights on. And we should be able to look on the outside. Alright, I definitely see the landing lights. Strobes. And nav lights. There's a little tail beacon light. No, no rotating beacon or anything like that. But yeah, we got everything. All right, 5 minutes. 5-minute warning, guys. We're almost there. Yeah, waiting for that sun to fall below the horizon just a touch. That'll work out nicely. I love this multicam. Definitely looks like a city's wastewater treatment. Not ideal for the scenery I was looking for, but realistic nonetheless. All right, up here, I think I see the airport. Just land north-south. What do they have? What do they have? They have a 0119. So we'll just land, yeah, we'll land to the north here. Just do a little straight in maneuver. Just dogleg it in here at 45, enter straight in for runway, what did I say? For runway 01. And I'm tempted to go over runway 05. It's a little closer to the parking. In fact, I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I did save that last landing, didn't I? I hope so. It was super smooth. I'd like to have it, but if I didn't, oh well, there'll be lots more. Alright. Let's keep slowing this thing down. There's 65. Let's let the nose come down. There's the end of our runway. It says we're high, but you know, what does it know? Go ahead and turn our final. So early. It's hard to tell when you don't have that peripheral vision. Here, let's see if that might help just a tad. Bring the power out. Flaps are full. Get some power back in. Like to come over the fence about 55. Alright, now it says we're on glide. Now we're below. Who knows? The little Bazzy Pappy system. It might be alright. I don't know. Oh, getting fast. Power's out. Runway's made. Let's work our way down. Okay, that was definitely my smoothest landing. Wasn't center line, but it was smooth. I will zip across here to the parking area, shut it down, call it a night. If you tuned in, or you're tuning in now, or you're watching this later, because I'm going to leave it up, thanks for watching. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see. I love doing it, guys. This is fun. It'd be more fun if you guys were engaging, so let me know if there's something I can do to get you engaged. I'm Justin, and we've got a long ways to go with this. So this is only halfway through one state, and we're trying to get to Washington State. So that's no short trip. What in the world is taxiway lights doing out in the middle of a taxiway? Funny silhouettes of airplanes in the grass over here. Almost like there's real airplanes there. We're going to go ahead and tie down here. And to shut down, we'll start with the avionics. Master switch. Lights. Fuel pumps. And fuel. Alright guys, again, thanks for tuning in. I'm Justin, and we'll see you on the next leg.